So this week, boys and girls, we pick up where someone else left off. Welcome back to the Odd Garage, everybody. So, as you can see again, we're down here in the basement again this week. It's probably how the next few videos are going to play out, just because it is too cold outside in the garage, and I don't want to deal with it. So, we're just going to be down here. And with that being said, this week's video is going to be hopefully a fairly simple one, and on a project I've been kind of putting off because I didn't know exactly what I needed to do with it. And that is this. This right here is a lightly modified Kyosho miniz I got off of my buddy Ryan. And I guess it really shouldn't even say it's lightly modified. It's actually pretty heavily modified for a miniz. As you can see, it's the Jeep Rubicon edition. Take the body off here. These got a really nice hard body on them. The chassis has been modified. I don't know exactly what it looked like stock. I believe these were stock. Maybe, no, these weren't stock. These are 3D printed on the stock chassis to accept a normal micro servo, give multiple slots for the shocks, as well as different like angle options and stuff. Same on the back. But this gets rid of all of the stock miniz electronics with the exception of the motor. It gives a different battery location option, a different way than the stock. Let me see if I can find it here. The stock like 4 AA battery tray that was in the miniz. And what else did it do? I think he said it did something else too. Oh, and it gives a box to put a receiver in if you can find one small enough to fit. After that, he did some more common modifications, we'll say. He put a lot of brass weight down here low on the axles. These Proline Super Swampers and wheels have already been put on it by him. So, you guys have probably gathered from this. Let's see, adjust the camera a little bit. What you guys have probably gathered from this, what we're going to be doing today isn't anything too complicated. We're basically going to be making this run. He gave me a couple things to go toward that he was planning on using himself, and I've thrown in a couple things that I already had and some stuff we're going to use to modify some of the stuff as well. We'll start with this. This right here is, and I don't know what brand ESC, but from what I can tell, it does want to work with my receiver, and it does seem to turn the motor. So we're going to use this because it's reacting to my remote when I have it hooked up. I don't know what this switch is. I know what this switch is. It's fairly uncomplicated for what it is. So this is what we're going to use for now. I would like to swap it to an ESC for a scx24 at some point, but that right now is just not something I have laying around to use. What I do have though is not the best, and I wouldn't recommend it necessarily for this, but it's what I have laying around, so it's what I'm going to use. I have a servo from an scx24. We're going to mount this in it and use this to steer the thing, because that's better than nothing, and that's what I have. And for the receiver, I have a just a Spectrum DSMR receiver. It's an SR215. I'm not using this for any specific reason other than it is what I have laying around, and it's one of the smaller ones I have laying around. If it wasn't for this having the built-in button to the case, I would probably decase it and put it in this box, but I'm not going to do that because there's just not. I lose the button and everything to bind it with doing that, and I don't want to risk losing the case in the long run and then not have it to do it at all. And the remote we're going to go ahead and put it on is one of my DX4Cs. Again, I know this isn't a crazy remote by today's standards, but I've got 3 of these remotes and I love them. So the battery, I don't know how we're going to mount it exactly because it doesn't fit down in the battery tray, but it does set on there really nice. So I'm hoping by the time the servo's in there and stuff, it stays that way. Probably going to play with maybe seeing if we can get away with mounting, because this right here is supposed to be the battery tray, but I don't have the batteries that fit that tray. So we're going to see maybe if we can get away with putting that there and just kind of running the battery like that or something underneath of the body and have the body hold it in place, and then we'll just mount the receiver back here. Nothing crazy. We're going to change the wires on the motor and the receiver, or not the receiver, but on the speed control. That way I can use scx24 batteries and everything and just be done with it as far as all that goes. So yeah, so nothing too complicated. Let's throw it in time lapse here and start getting some stuff done. That all soldered up a lot better than I thought it was going to. Now, the problem with this thing is you can't tell what is what on it. You can't tell what's motor wires and what's battery wires. I figured it out prior to putting the truck together. That way I knew what was what. And I left the battery wires a little longer than the motor wires for that specific reason. So at least I know the difference. The next problem I have run into is I cannot find any of my double-sided tape anywhere. So the only thing I haven't really attached anything with is these 3M command strips, and I don't know how they're going to hold this, but we'll find out. And some zip ties. I might have to just zip tie everything in place for this video. Luckily, there is quite a bit of room to work with underneath this body to get everything in place with all the wiring. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that won't be too bad. I would really like to move the receiver back into this box, but I don't believe I don't have a servo extension, I don't believe, so that will make that very hard. Actually, hang on, I have one. I lied. Well, I don't have a servo extension. I do have a so that'll work to extend this and run it this in here. Because my hope is with the servo in, I can then just kind of lay the battery in here and maybe like run a zip tie up through everything to hold it in place, at least for now, so we can actually make this video. Because I think if I do it right, if I just have it lightly zip tied, I can kind of slide it in and out. But yeah. So what we're going to do from there is take this off, get this hopefully mounted inside of there, because I think it might fit. I'm hoping it'll fit. And then we'll mount the servo, get all the wiring done, figure out how we're mounting this, and it should be, hopefully, a complete truck after that, but we'll see. Alright, we have everything mounted. The body should still fit on. I'm a little concerned about the wiring right here. But that's everything on it. So I do think if I rearrange some things, one of the FMS battery packs will actually fit down in there. We'll try those another time because I don't have the right leads on those for this. So I need to make an adapter. Either way, I needed an adapter for those because they also aren't these leads either. So I think what we're going to do now, given this is not perfect, this is not how I want it to ultimately be. I'm remembering very quick why this servo wasn't in a truck anymore, and it's the only one I currently have. So we're going to, it's kind of a, we're going to make do with what we have scenario at the moment, and drive this thing if I can get the body on it. I may have too much of a mess of wiring to be able to get the body on. We'll find out though. Ha, there we go. And I forgot to turn it on. Sons of a bitch. Let's see here. Can I get the back of it up enough to be able to get it off? Dang it. Always put your on-off switches in easy spots, guys. Especially on something that's a mess underneath of the body like this. Let's see here. See, can we just grab a hold of it with... Come on. Come on. Work with me. Work with me. Alright, there we go. There's the on-off switch. So we can work with that now. Kind of leave that dangling back in the back for the minute. We have not great steering. We have absolutely no tire clearance. But we have a working engine and we have working steering, kinda. So this servo for some reason does not like to stay centered, so it doesn't matter how many times I pull the servo horn off and adjust it, it won't return to center to save its life. I would like to go ahead and drive it the way my buddy Ryan already had it set up with these wheels and tires, but I don't think that's possible without cutting up the body, and I don't want to do that yet. So what I think is going to happen is maybe... See, are these any shorter? Those are significantly shorter. Are these shorter? Those are about the same height. Those are a little heavier, though. Those are the only ones I have. What about these? How much shorter are these than those? Those are pretty significantly shorter. I think we're going to try one of these other sets of wheels here on it. And hopefully not get hung up as much on the body, just because, man, these have some nice weight to them. I think we might try them, even though I know these Patagonias work great. So let's do that quick. All right, so we've switched wheels and tires. These ones are considerably heavier than these ones, so I think these are going to help with a bit of the top heaviness of this body. Probably not going to help the steering issue at all, though. So we're going to see how it does. This is probably going to turn into a two-part video, where the next video we like modify the body and we adjust the suspension some more and fix the servo, probably with a new one. So this is kind of a I guess we won't call this a how to finish someone's old project, but a how to a how to begin a person's old project. There we go. Yeah, we'll call it that. So, because I mean, where he left it versus where we have it now, at least now it's a working truck. It was not a working truck when I got it from him. So that in itself is a huge difference. As you can see, when we start to flex, there is still tons of issues with body clearances and stuff, but there's only so much room to work with things. It would help if we could actually make the front links a touch longer, but it looks like they've got to be just about maxed out lengthwise. So, and I'm also not really seeing how to take them off, so that's a whole thing. I don't know if they just like, they can't just pop in and out. There's got to be like a pin or something holding them in there, but yeah, so we'll figure that out. Might be we have to take them off from here and then just lengthen them that way. It looks like there's a little bit of length in them. Then we got to figure out what to do about the upper link. But if we could move that front axle forward just a hair bit more, same with the, if we can move the back one back a hair bit more, and then cut these fenders off and stuff, I think it'll be a lot better off, because then we can get the body really low and it'll be good then. But that's not this video. That'll be a different one. So, all right, let's get this thing on the trail course and see how it does. and there we go. Now you have it. That is, well, essentially the tale of trying to finish someone's unfinished project, but still needing work. But hey, at least now we know things function. We know what we need to do. We can make this better later. And a quick little tidbit on this little buggy. This shows how a nicely modified little buggy can do. Because outside of a couple of things that were my driving error, this thing did good. And I mean, at the end of the day, it is a chassis, a set of wheel weights, a set of tires, and a servo. I mean, it's not much modded for high outcome. I could not be happier with this little guy. I only wish I could take credit for it, because I didn't build this. One of my buddies did, and I got it off of him on trade. And it has been just one hell of a little buggy to drive. I've finished a couple small things on it, like I think I put a motor in it, and I swapped the wheels and tires to something I like better than he had on it. But otherwise, this is how this buggy come from him. So, and it has been a awesome little buggy since. So, alright, there you have it, guys. Hopefully in a couple weeks we'll get back to this one with some new parts and some time, make it right. Outside of me just taking this out and actually running it outside, I don't know if you guys will see this one again. Not really much to do to it, so, but I'm sure you'll see it in the background here and there. So next time, I haven't decided which, but I think we're building an El Camino. So, until then, you guys have a good one, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Oh, yeah, and remember that whole like, share, subscribe. You know what to do. See you guys then. Bye.